G'day everyone, welcome back to another Fantasy and SuperCoach review video on the channel. Going to be going over my teams from round 13. The second bye round has been completed of the mid-season buys, and hopefully everyone did go well this week. We'll start off as always with Fantasy, and yeah, as I said a few weeks ago, and once again this week, our season is easily done, and we've moved down ranks once again this week. We can't even move up ranks. It's been week after week of moving down and down the ranks. Last week or the week before was 17,000. We've dropped off about 2,000 spots. So yeah, just not our year. And let me start off, by why I captained Dawson. You're probably wondering why I did put the C on Dawson. I set my captains throughout the week, and I must have rolled back my team once too many, because then on Thursday night when they bounced the ball, I was like, okay, I'll have a quick look at my team just to make sure. I had the captaincy on Dawson. I left it on him from the week before when he gave me a 60, and I'm like, bloody hell. But I was actually somewhat confident because I feel like he bounced back, and he actually got me a 124 in the end. He had a big last quarter, so I'm happy with a 124 captain score. But considering that my VC of choice all week long was going to be Flanders, I've lost out on about 40 points. So it's just things like that that have really killed my season. Just not really nailing captain selections and just not being my year, as they do say. The perfect excuse when you're just probably shithouse at fantasy sports. But these are my trades. So the trade outs were good. We got rid of Bonner. Harley Reid was suspended and had his bye heading into his bye. And 𝐓𝐴 was also going to lose me money. So he went down 10k. But, of course, Howes had to come back in. I thought he was going to be not playing again. So he lost more money. So I probably should have went with Graham instead. But, oh, well, it is what it is. We brought in Dowling. So successful rookie trade. And that was... I was on Whitfield. Went to Tom Green. Should have just went with Whitfield, but this was a nice one. Bring in 𝐼𝐻𝐿. He went bang, had the ball on a string on Sunday afternoon. So I'll go through a line. So yeah, don't worry, don't ignore the VC on 𝐷𝐿𝐻𝐿. My stuffed up my captains. It was VC on Flanders. That's what it was meant to be. But with my incompetence, I left it on Dawson. But yeah, 𝐷𝐿𝐻𝐿 was tagged by Neil Bullen. He was well held. But he was able to break free somewhat in the second half as the game wore on. Kicked a goal, but then he copped a bit of a corky, I think, on the calf. So yeah, given they were up by 50 points, he was just wrapped in cotton wool and subbed out. So I got a feel for all those people that did captain him, though. Obviously condolences to you. Like, that is a rough one to cop. Nick Martin, what an interesting role he had. So he was swung forward in the second half and was able to kick 2 goals in the third quarter and had a heroic third term, almost in that comeback, but just wasn't to be. But just for fantasy alone, he's been an awesome starting pick this year, so just continues to get it done. And so is this man, 𝐻𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐿. I know a lot of people probably would have gotten rid of him when he was like 980k, but his last 3 averages 109, plus he has got a great buy, so he's just been doing the business, really. He's a naturally really good scorer, so he scores well in the midfield. And also when he does go forward, Zac Fisher, we picked him up at 650k, so probably one of our better trade-ins this season. But, pretty much everybody that is competitive has Zac Fisher. He had like 36 touches. With no 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐿 back there and still sitting on my bench 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐿, he's just getting all that ball back there. 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐿, we had to hold, and to be fair, I thought he'd go off against the Saints, given they give points to defenders. Just wasn't him, though. It's more the defenders, not the wingers, so he only got a 55, but he's got his bye this week, so probably look to move him on. And I thought Blake Howes would be in the twos again this week, but given how bad Melbourne were against Fremantle, he came back in and gave me a nice 36 to lose me 15k. So nice little cherry on top that is. And then Hayden Young and 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐿 all out. So yeah, 𝐼𝐻𝐿𝐿 has been the biggest frustration this year for me, because if he's playing, he'd be going 90 plus. That's why I brought him back in, but I don't know when he's returning with this. I think it's a stress reaction in his toe or a bone in his foot or something. So I don't know when he's coming back. Hopefully it's back this week or next week. That would be lovely. Midfield now, so I didn't mean to captain Dawson, but left it on him by accident. And paid off, I guess, in the end. So 124 captain score you definitely take. Bounced back really well. Had a really good second and fourth quarter and just played much better. Compared to their absolute crap show against the Crows the week before. And he looked like he moved well too, even with all that injury cloud he was under with that foot. So yeah, Strong had the bye, and this was an epic trade-in, bringing in 𝐼𝐻𝐿 151. Oh, what a player he is. How about goal off a step from 50 out in that fourth quarter? He's something special, Goulden. And as I said last week, he's a really good fantasy player because he gets a lot of marks. He has high time on ground, and yeah, just got plenty of it on Sunday. Jack Steele, as we have said the past month, he'll just be up and down this year. He'll get 120 one week, 80 the other. You could look to move him on, but I can't really. I need to get rid of some of these rookies first. And then, yeah, how about this? 𝐸 Miller, 47. Why is Took getting tagged? Why is not Noah Anderson getting tagged? This is what I was just baffled by. Because Miller's accumulation has not been as good as Noah Anderson's. He's their clearance beast, but I guess Took's probably one of their better players in and under. And he's got a really good work rate. So unfortunately, 𝐼𝐻𝐿 absolutely clamped him, and he gave me a 47. So yeah, he's been a horror of a starting selection this year. Could have been a bit more. Could have maybe moved him on a bit earlier on. Should have been a bit more ruthless, but yeah, he's got the bye this week. Yeah, just been a shame. The last month or so, he just hasn't given me a ceiling score this year. It's been disappointing, 𝐸 Miller, in terms of fantasy. And so is this guy, Tom Green. Bugger. Sure, just went with 𝘬cky Whitfield. I still want to back in my wording of I think post-bye he can go well, but his second half was really disappointing. He only had 2 touches in the third quarter, followed by a few clearances in the fourth, and gave away that awful downfield free kick to lose the game for them. So yeah, not an ideal week to bring in Tom Green. Let's hope for a bounce back. He's got a good bye. Port Adelaide this week back up there in Sydney. So, a nice 120 we'd love to see from Tom Green. Bit of a bounce back. Clayton Oliver, I thought he was good in and under today against the Pies, but just didn't get enough of it. His TOG was better today. And look, he might get better scoring with Petrarca possibly out with that. I don't know, is it broken ribs or something? Something with his chest. But yeah, just another really poor trade, and it's been this year. Sort of one of those following the crowd ones, but to be fair, I did fall into the trap a bit, feeling Oliver would be able to score better as the weeks go on, but just isn't looking like it's to be. And yeah, probably should have gotten rid of Darcy Wilson last week. He was on 0 touches at halftime. He's just hit the wall. He's going to be a quality player for the Saints, but those first year players always cop that. They're hitting the wall, so that's a shame. Nice little shining light, though, for the week. Billy Dowling with an 89. Yeah, really good trading this week. Kicked the goal late on the run, and then he could have had another too. But how about that from Rochelle? He put in all the pressure on poor old Billy Dowling for him to miss that shot. But yeah, really nice on debut. Was a little bit hacky by foot, but really got involved with a lot of marks too. So yeah, might as well field him this week with the round 14 buys to happen. And McAuliffe the sub. This was bloody harsh. He came on literally in the fourth quarter and got 7-8 touches. So hopefully he can actually play in the 22 this week against the Hawks. For the Rucks, Max Gawn, 148, went bang today against Darcy Cameron. Had a lot of intercept marks. He did miss that goal though. He hit the post early on, but was still epic. He's been... I thought he would have been a pretty good captain's choice for this week. Tim English, though, he's been awful. Still, what has killed my season in fantasy is trading up Marshall to Sweet. Should have just stuck with Marshall. Tim English, fake primo. It just seems to be, but he's a good fantasy player at least because he gets possessions, he gets marks, but it's not a fun own, this Tim English, let me tell you. And yeah, Sam Flanders, this one hurts. He was on 100 at half time, and I'm like, this was the guy I was meant to VC. But due to my incompetence, I forgot to do so. But yeah, we'll have to see it. I mean, how consistent has Flanders been this year? 70 for a Tom Powell, but forwards are pretty dire this year, so we'll just keep him because he's got a round 12 bye. Need to move on rookies anyway. Jack McRae, we're probably going to consider to be moving on because he's got a round 15 bye. He's got another highish bracket of 90. I just don't think he's it this year. Look at these numbers, 66, 88, 72. It's not good enough. I think we're better off having a rookie in his spot. So I think it's time to say goodbye to him. Isaac Heaney with 108, epic again. What was it, 2 goals? 2 goals, 2. Could have had 3 or 4 and another 26 touches. So should get Brownlow votes once again. And yeah, he's just been so consistent in that Swans mix. Yeah, I love watching him. Joel Frazier, unfortunately, couldn't get us a nice 60-plus score this week. Only just the 40. Didn't really get many marks this week. Only had the 3, unlike the 6 and 7 he's gotten the past fortnight, but we'll flip him at his round 15 buy. His break even is 32, so if it could get us a 60 or 70, we'll be happy with that. And then Harvey Harrison, really nice, kicked 3 goals, got a 71, and yeah, successful rookie roulette against Lohmann. You got to take the little wins, a 9-point difference there. And what's Lohmann's break even? 49. He's got the Saints this week, so we might keep him for another. Might keep him for another game. And then yeah, Jeremy Sharp will bring back in this week, so that's what it's looking like. That's what it looked like for round 13. So an 1873. Not an ideal score. Season is over, but we'll keep on playing for pride. For the trades this week, there are basically no rookies apart from Kruger, who we're going to bring in. So Wilson has to go because break-even's very high. And bugger, lost us 38k. So yeah, Kruger will come in. He's got North Melbourne this week. Also has ruck cover 2 for Max Gorn having his bye, so that's awesome. Jack McRae, I think we can send off too. He's just not getting it done as a primo. He holds a lot of value. And this is the issue, though. There's not really many forward rookies or any rookies at all, apart from Kruger, to bring in. So I might consider James Peatling. He's sort of that 3rd or 4th string midfielder at the moment to their centre bouncers with 𝐴𝐞 and also Josh Kelly out. So if Peatling can play 2 to 3 more games of some 80-plus scores, because he looks good in there. He tackles well. He can accumulate the ball. I mean, last 3 games, 115, 57, but he got 18 touches here. If he just tackled a few more times, this would have possibly been a 70 plus and a 98. Yeah, I think he can make us some money, and maybe we flip him in a few weeks' time. He's better than McRae, probably. He could probably score better than him because he's got a better role. So we'll bring him in. And yeah, let's bring in a primo this week. So Sam Closey comes out on his bye. I can also bring in Luke Ryan, but I'm really liking Jordan Clark, and plus he's about 130k cheaper. So might go with a bit of the better value option for this trade. But the value options have absolutely killed us this year, so I probably should stop being a Tony Jones and as a tight ass and pay up, but I don't want to. But yeah, we'll probably do that for the trades this week. Yeah, just not a year in fantasy. 19k rank overall. Let's move across to SuperCoach. Rightio, so our SuperCoach team from round 13, we managed to get ourselves a 1998, and yeah, we'll take that for this week. We do move up the ranks, that's the most important thing, to 309th overall. So this is my highest position so far this year, so I'll definitely take it, but geez, I don't know how I'm going to go the next 2 weeks. It's going to be a big test because I'll have enough fielded for round 14 and 15, but yeah, it's going to be tough next 2 weeks. That's definitely safe to say. So we VC'd Brodie Grundy. That definitely helped us this week. A lot of people either captain Dacos or Gawn. So if you did captain Gawn, that's very good too. But the beauty about Grundy is he got 21 points better. So yeah, absolutely crucial at gaining those extra points. Going with Grundy, dominated against Reece Stanley. How good was he? But the issue is though, my trades. This is what really hurt me. I was considering going Neil or Dunkley or Eldia or Goulden, but I bring in Tom Green. Imagine if I went with Errol Goulden. That would have been a 70, 80 point difference, and I could have been possibly in the top 200. Who knows? It would have been a massive difference there. So yeah, kicking myself after that one. But we did bring in Zach Fisher, which was a good trade in. And we brought in Will Dawson. Shame about that. He went down into the rooms and now probably going to have scans on his, I think it was his shoulder. So he gave me a nice fat donut. Didn't even get a touch, which is not ideal. But our trade-outs were pretty decent, I'd say. So Oliver I think he got just under 100. So we would have liked those points, obviously. But he had a high break-even. He went down 20k this week. And Bonner and Wilson out. This was very good too because, yeah, they've lost a lot of money as well because they had some poor scores on Saturday night. So yeah, kicking myself with going Tom Green for this week, and it's annoying because he was on 60 points at halftime, 65 points, and then he gets 2 touches in the third quarter. He got a few clearances in the fourth and was looking like he'd be able to push to a 90-95, so a bit of a silver lining or just a passable score. But then he gives away that downfield free kick and he loses about 10 points. So yeah, kicking myself after that one. But oh well, you can't win them all. Should have just avoided the green trap. But I still back in my word though with Green. I still feel like he can go well post by. He's still a really good inside mid player. And they've got Port Adelaide this week back at home, so he went well against them last year. Let's hope for a bounce back. This is why I brought him in. Well, that's the reason why I brought him in. So yeah, we'll go through the lines. But yeah, happy with the VC Grundy, so Captain Luke Ryan. 𝐷𝐿𝐼 64, so talked about him in the fantasy segment. Got held really well by 𝐼𝐵𝐵𝗹, and yeah, just was wrapped in the cotton wool, getting subbed out with that cooked calf, I did think it was. But yeah, shame if you did captain him though. But I must say, if you didn't captain him, that would have been big, because if you did put the C on 𝐷𝐿𝐼, a lot of skews in the rankings this week, because probably a lot of people could have had a good round, but they ended up captaining 𝐷𝐿𝐼, and that would have really hurt their total score. But yeah, he was just pretty much well held by 𝐼𝐵𝐵𝗹. Harry Schuzel with a 129. So yeah, we were concerned a few weeks ago that how's he going to go in his new role? But he looks good. He's just a gun. He's a really good player. Finds the footy well. He's a talent for North Melbourne. A nice 129. Dan Houston with the bye. Jeremy McGovern. Now this one's disappointing. I saw he was on about 70 points at half time, and I'm like, here we go, massive scoring coming for Jeremy McGovern. And then he ends an 88, and I'm like, what in the bloody world? What happened with this? So, yeah, that is not ideal, because you want your pods to score well. McGovern certainly is a pod, but yeah, a bit of a shame there. But he's still been a pretty good trade-in for me, because he's yet to put out a spud score. Zach Fisher, he brought in this week, got a 120. Yeah, he was an obvious trade-in for me this week, coming off the bye. And he's just racking up the football with no 𝐼𝐵𝐿𝐼 back there. And we move on to 𝐼𝐿𝐼. When is he coming back? This has been the most infuriating and frustrating hold ever. I brought him back in. I tried to power out for 𝐼𝐿𝐼, by the way, because look at his 3-run average, 109. He could easily put up Zach Fisher numbers if he's back in the team, but just this stress fracture in his foot is holding him back. I did see last week on Twitter, though, they are going to put a timeline on him when he returns to running. The next week, and last week he did return to running, so I'm assuming we know by Tuesday when he is returning. If he's back this week or next week, we'll keep him, but if he's not back longer than that, or if he's not back if he's not back this week or next week, I think we're probably going to have to get rid of him, because there are a few trades I'm liking the look of, with 𝐼𝐿𝐼's value being attainable to trade out to get to the players I want. So, yeah, he's a bit of a sliding door scenario, I think, 𝐼𝐿𝐼. Do we get rid? Do we hold? We'll just wait and see till Tuesday. And then moving to the midfield, Bontempelli got a 99. So, yeah, a lot of people VC'd him, but he just got really well contained by Jared Berry. The clamps were on him in that first half, and he had a big second half, though, to resurrect his score, because it was looking pretty dire at half time. I think he was on about 30, 40 points. But he's a star Bont. He always finds ways to score, even if he's having bad outings. Jordan Dawson with a 117, so yeah, much better bounce back from the week before against the Hawks. Was a little bit ineffective by foot early on, but yeah, really got going and took a few intercept grabs in that final quarter. He's having some big fourth quarters this year. It's really resurrecting his score, so we're happy with that. Zach Merritt, I'll definitely take a 125, considering he had 𝐼𝐿𝐼 𝐶𝐞 hanging off him all game long. He was able to get a lot of those contest possessions and was pretty neat with his hand passes in and under. So, yeah, pretty content with a 125, given he was heavily tagged. Sam Walsh with an 87, so disappointing game from him. Just couldn't really get his hands on the ball. And what is his time on ground at the moment? It was like 70% at halftime. He's an elite runner. I don't know why he's getting 2 bench rotations a quarter at the moment. But yeah, he's got the bye this week, so hopefully he can rest up and just get his match fitness right. Maybe there's something niggling him if he's having such low tog. I don't know. But I just think for the remainder of the year, let's hope he lowers the clangers a little bit, because that's what's definitely hurt his scores the past few weeks. Jack Steele with a 98. Yeah, looked all right. Just a pretty somewhat okay game from Steele. Didn't really go off. Didn't really spud up. It's just a ton. We'll take it with Steele. 𝐷𝐿𝐼 Miller, though, unfortunately got tagged, so a nasty bullet to cop there, copping the 𝐼𝐵𝐿𝐼 tag. He'll probably go to 𝘼𝐼𝐞 this week against the Lions, we'll see, but geez, he was really good against 𝐷𝐿𝐼. He's a quality tagger, 𝘼𝐵𝐿𝐼. But 𝐷𝐿𝐼 was able to get that goal late at least to get his score to a 58. At least it wasn't a 40 or a 30, because it was on, 30 points at three-quarter time? It was awful. I was like, oh dear, what's going on here? But yeah, shame he didn't go to Noah Anderson. I was like, why is he on 2? Go on Anderson. But unfortunately, it isn't all about SuperCoach and fantasy at the end of the day. Tom Green, just a poor trade in the end. Should have been good. And would have gained about 70, 80 points on that one, and we could have been sitting in the top 200. But we'll back him in. We did bring him in because I feel like he goes well post-buy, so we'll back him in. We'll stick fat for him. And Lachie Sullivan, so we have to field him this week, and didn't even count to my top 18 scores. So I was hoping for a 60 or 70, but now his break-even's 53. Still been a pretty good rookie for us, though. He's gained us 173k, so he's got north this week. Could go 70, could go 80. Let's hope for a big game from him. And Zach Butters the buy. Kane 𝐬𝐿𝐼𝐿. What a shame about him being the sub, because the last 5-6 minutes when he came on, he got a 32. Like, 32 from 6 minutes of play is pretty darn good. So surely he can come back into the 22 this week against the Hawks. And Clay Hall, I actually did see on Twitter that apparently Simo said in the presser, Clay Hall is pretty close to an AFL debut. So that's going to be handy. Potentially, could he play at least 3 games and maybe get a cheeky price rise. For the Rucks now, so Max gone. Yeah, happy with that. Nice solid score, but nothing too big because I didn't want to have another Bontempelli case where it was like last week where I Captain Dacos and Bont went 30 points better. We wanted a good score from Gorn, but nothing over Grundy, and that's what happened. We gained 21 points on that Grundy VC instead. And yeah, how about Brodie Grundy? His head-up work was sensational against the Cats. Really outdid Stanley after quarter time. His ground level work was great. I think he had some of the highest contested possessions for the Swans once again. He was a treat to watch. And him and Taylor Adams were just so good. Like their connection was really noticeable yesterday against the Cats. And then moving to the forward line. So I actually had the VC on Flanders all week. So then Saturday night I was kicking myself saying, bug, I should have just stuck the VC on Flanders, not gone to Grundy. But we gained 1 point on going Grundy instead. So, hey, we'll take the small wins. Happy with that in the end. But yeah, Flanders, it was expected he was going to rack up the ball against the Saints. Isaac Heaney with another pretty consistent score of 116. So, yeah, Heaney hasn't really gone absolutely bananas. He's similar to Flanders, where he just goes 100 to 120 every week. He's not putting out ceiling scores, but he's just so darn consistent. Dane Zorko with a pretty acceptable 95, but you'd be pretty happy if you're a non-owner because look at this. His break-even's 187, so he's ripe for the picking maybe this week if you just want to jump on him and take the loss with him, or even next week too. But we picked up Zorko at about 550, 560k, so we picked him up at least at a good price, and we got his 170, whatever it was, against the Tigers. So he's been a good training for us, and we'll take a 95 from him, given how dire the forwards are this year. And speaking of a dire forward, Jack Macrae, he's out for me this week. He's gone regardless on his buy. He's just a fake primo. He's a bad trade, and just the thing is, he actually got some CBAs on against the Lions, but just couldn't take the most advantage of it. He's just not the same. His intensity's just dropped off, and when I've owned him, he just doesn't have that same hunger for winning the footy consistently. His disposal is good, but he just can't find the footy enough. So yeah, he's gone for me. His break even's 90 odd. If we're gonna get rid of him next week, might as well get rid of him this week because he's gonna lose us money, and probably a rookie will score better than him. Harvey Harrison, really like that 74. We need these good scores from our rookies to gain some coins. So yeah, because of that, he gained a nice 34k. Kicked 3 goals, looked really lively. I was expecting a bit of a bounce back because I really rate Harvey Harrison. He's a quality player, I think, for the Pies, and he's got the North matchup this week, so let's hope he can feast. That would be lovely. I'm not trying to disrespect North, by the way. There was a quality win against the Eagles, so I think they'll be breathing fire in their matchup against the Pies. And Joel Frazier, unfortunately, couldn't get us another 60 plus, just the 53. Just wasn't able to really get his hands on it too much. And then, a nice fat 0 with Dawson. But I can't be too mad because Dawson was coming off the bye anyway, and he has good DPP at least for doing trades the next few weeks. Okay, so now I'll move on to my trades for the upcoming round. I've been tinkering around a little bit of what I should do. The big one is Colby McKercher. So is he going to be coming back this week or next week? I need to know, obviously, by Tuesday. They did say they are going to be releasing a timeline with him. But if he's not back soon, I think we've got to say goodbye to him because I want to bring in Jordan Clark and Caleb Sarong this week. And if we can get rid of McKercher with his value, we can facilitate bringing in 2 primos this week. So, we'll bring out McKercher if he's not back soon. We'll bring out Jack Macrae, and we'll also get rid of McAuliffe. Now, McAuliffe could get a 70 or an 80 against the Hawks if he's playing in the 22. but he's going to be gone regardless with his round 15 buy. So yeah, I think we might have to cull him off a week early just so we can afford these trades. So yeah, let's bring in Jordan Clark. Yeah, he's got really good numbers this year. Just gets a heap of it at halfback with how Fremantle play. And I think he's in all-Australian form at the moment. He's been awesome to watch this year. So I'll move Fisher in the forward line and go with Jordan Clark for our D6. Oh no, sorry, there. Then we can move Dawson to the fence. So there we go. Handy DPP with Dawson there. We can shift Dawson into the back line. So yeah, Clark there. And then we can go with Caleb Serong. So yeah, I know Serong's got a 170 odd break even, but he's one that I've been targeting all season long. I want to get him in for my final team, and I just think he's a must-have. And if he gets like a 130 or something, he goes down 20k, but he's got the Dogs this week, who he usually goes quite well against. Probably goes under 600k this week, but with tinkering around the trades, I don't mind getting on him a little bit early. And as for the final trade in for the rookie of choice, we're going to be bringing in Nathan Kruger. There's not really much for rookies this week. Kruger does have a round 15 bye, but he's got the North matchup this week, which I really like, and he looked really good against the D's. So yeah, he'll be on field for us this week. If we go to our playing in round 14 series out, we'll put in Butters, put in Sarong, Clark in for McGovern. Dawson won't be playing, so let's just pretend that's a red dot. And Kruger will come in. And the beauty about Kruger is he's actually got ruck starters too, which probably is a bit irrelevant because Gawn's out anyway, and we need to field him in the forward line. But yeah, we have 19 playing this week by the looks of it. Shame about Dawson getting injured. That did really hurt him, unfortunately. But yeah, that's probably what I'm going to be doing for trades this week. But usually when I do my trades on Sunday night, things can change by the end of the week. Okay, so now let's have a quick look at my SuperCoach League. Who is on top? It's still myself. But as for the second highest ranked player in my league, it is Mitch. Let's see, he's over ranked 508. Very nice stuff. Having a look at his team, Captain Gawn. A lot of people put the C on Gawn, but a good captain score, you definitely would be happy with that. Riley Garcia, he's been a great rookie. Shame we didn't get on him ourselves. Zach Fisher, very good. Nick Martin, he's been down the last few weeks. He's probably been a good anti-pod for ourselves. Sexton was good once again. Good thing he didn't captain Dacos. Stewart, maybe he could flip him now on his bye. Jai Clark, thought he had a pretty good effort after quarter time in that game against the Swannies. So yeah, he will probably make some changes this week, you'd think. And also Lachie Neale, good trading for himself this week too. For the highest points scored in my fantasy league, fun picks only once again. How about that? Very good stuff. He's over rank 1475. Wow, 𝐼𝐿𝐼𝐿𝐼𝐿 went bang for him. He's decided to hold on to him this whole time, and it's paid off. Jadin Short, so a nice pod there. Got a ton. Sinclair was very good on Saturday night, 147. So a lot of pods for him, scoring well. Harry Mackay, a bit of a down game. Luke Jackson with his bye, Tom Powell. So yeah, he's got a full PREMOS side, which is good to see. But he could probably now look to move on potentially some of these PREMOS, maybe like a Mackay, or good thing he's got more too. So he's probably sitting in a good spot for sure. Fun picks only. And now a quick look at my fantasy league leaderboard update. We have 𝐬𝐿𝐼𝐻's team once again, 49th overall. So hopefully he can keep on pushing for that car. Looks like he changed his team name as well. But round 12, he was 71st, and now he's 49th. So another good week from himself. Having a look at his team, VC Dawson, so that's good. Got a nice 124, but could have went with Flanders. He would have gotten a nice points boost there, and he could have maybe been in the top 30. But we'll keep on cheering on 𝐬𝐿𝐼𝐻. He is absolutely up and about at the moment. Jai Clark's been a good hold too. Oh, geez, when we bloody trade out rookies, they turn out to score bloody well in the end. Forward line looks pretty schmick. How about that for a forward line? No spud scores there, unlike our bloody fantasy forward line. It is absolutely poo at the moment. Dylan Moore, Alex Sexton, nice scores there. Sam Walsh, bit of a down game. Fortunately, kept Wilson, but you can't win them all. Max Holmes has been a really good pod this year too, and Sinclair really went off. And yeah, Jack Crisp as well. He's been a great trade-in for owners too. So 𝐬𝐿𝐼𝐻's been smashing it, 49th overall. Hopefully he can push for the car. And that's pretty much it from me, everybody. Hopefully you'd enjoy another round review of my SuperCoach and fantasy teams. Feel free to let me know how you lot are going with your teams in the comments down below, who you're going to be bringing in this week. Always happy to answer some trade questions as well if you've got any. And yeah, that's pretty much it from me, everybody. Hopefully you'd enjoy. And yeah, that's it from me. See you later.